Welcome to North Node, the yoga and astrology podcast. I'm Becky, a yoga teacher, astrologist, and businesswoman.
And I'm Laura, founder of Soul Sanctuary Studios, yoga teacher trainer, and wellness coach and consultant. In this podcast, we'll be diving into down-to-earth but deep soul conversations.
We'll explore how you can connect and stay on purpose with your true north alignment through the transformative lenses of yoga and astrology.
Each episode is designed to inspire and guide you on your own journey towards self-discovery, self-love, and personal growth. We'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform. Your support will help us reach more listeners who are looking for insightful discussions and meaningful connection.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
All right, so this episode we are talking about chocolate, all things chocolate. As we are in the run up to Easter, we thought this would be, a cool topic just to do quite a light-hearted, fun episode on. So, Beck, why don't you kick us off with where you are at with your relationship with chocolate at the moment?
Well, I love chocolate. And I think my taste in chocolate has become more refined as I've gotten older. I mean, I think the one thing that we do share is we both love mint aero, right?
I was going to say mine is not refined.
So that would be like my, my sort of, if you just go into the shop and buying some chocolate, mint aero. But then I do really enjoy like the darker chocolate as well. And what I found as I've gotten older, so like how old am I now? 47. Okay. So I'm going through perimenopause, and what I found is I just cannot tolerate the blood sugar spikes with chocolate anymore. Like I feel all over the place and my sleep is quite disrupted. And obviously, especially the darker chocolate contains like caffeine and things like that. So I'm having to like, if I want to have chocolate, like really time it at the right time of my day. And I wouldn't say it's something I eat every day, but I've been following this really cool account on Instagram, and some of our listeners might know of her. She's the glucose goddess, and she's amazing because she essentially talks about the order in which you eat food to avoid glucose spikes. So one of her teachings is like making sure that you always eat your vegetables first, something green before you eat your main meal. And then if you want to have chocolate or a sweet like snack, to always have it after like a meal like that. And that meal should be like quite high in protein as well. So I found this to be like revolutionary for me because I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of the cortisol belly that I feel like I had a few months ago. But I don't feel like I'm eating any less and still like enjoying those treats from time to time. So I just wanted to share that really for our listeners, for anyone who might be moving through perimenopause. But also we know how crucial blood sugar is for overall health as well. So for me, I think the thing that I'd want to share around chocolate is I love it, but I feel it's important to eat it consciously and consume it at a time that doesn't result in a huge blood sugar incident and then a crash, So that's kind of my thoughts on chocolate and how I feel about it. What about you? What's your relationship with chocolate like right now?
Right now it's like chocolate anonymous, isn't it, today?
It's an amnesty you can declare.
An amnesty, okay, I'll be honest. So I think I'm maybe too regimented with my like daily diet. Like I'm a bit weird with routine. So, like I've said before, it's not sexy. I get up, I drop the boys to nursery, I do a 20-minute run, I come home, I have my shower, I usually make like a massive omelette. I have like a big cheesy hammy omelette with a load of salad. And then, I'll have like a little snack in the afternoon. Actually, I got really onto Al McPherson's like supplements, which made so I have a green smoothie in the morning, and then I have her afternoon. It's a protein shake, but it's got like vitamins in it, and that's chocolate flavored, interestingly. And then I'll have a big old dinner with ads. But like, it's funny when I look back on the day, I'm like, actually, have I had enough calories? Like, I never feel hungry because I eat so much when I eat, and then I'm having those shakes as well. But I did notice that probably isn't giving me enough calories. And then when I'd get to like, I'd be working on my laptop in the evening, or definitely like I put the boys to bed, and like they're nightmare going to sleep at the moment. So like I'll like slug out of the bedroom at like 8 p.m. like, oh, that was such a slog. All I want is my chocolate, my mint aero chocolate, and a hot, usually like a peppermint tea. And that is just bliss for me. I just sit there in that moment. The kids are down, like, and yeah, I could easily eat. I get the little balls, the Minero balls. I can't stop myself from getting through a pack of those easily. Like, I mean, in a night, but I'm saying I probably do that like 2 or 3 times a week. So bad. And yeah, that's my little bit of respite in the evening. And I feel like it's fine because I'm so like regimented during the day, and like I'm burning. Like I'm just literally at the moment, I just run from one thing to the next, whether it's getting the kids or going to the house renovation or like squeezing in like the podcast or the emails or the calls. That I'm like, if I want to sit down and eat a bag of chocolate in the evening, life is about balance, right? And we've spoken about this before. Like, yes, it's all about growth and it's totally about health, but it's also about enjoyment. And I'm not gonna like, yeah, I'm not going to, what's the word, like restrain myself from having those things that I enjoy as well when I have like a lot of balance elsewhere. So we were actually joking about it on the training because it was Mother's Day this weekend. We were doing the assisting training, and I put a little chocolate heart on each of their mats with a rose. And then how cute that one of them, without knowing that I was going to do that, put a bag of like those mint aero balls, because obviously on the online trainings I must talk about it so much. And yeah, I just think it's nice. But what it kind of it like looking at this podcast, and it sort of encouraged me to have a look at like why do I crave that of all things? Because it's definitely not wine, like it's not alcohol, it's nothing like that. Like my mint air is my thing. And so what is the kind of chemistry of chocolate? So looking into that, there's the physical and the psychological aspect of it, which I can definitely agree with. So the kind of chemistry of it, the physical side of it, is looking at theobromine and caffeine. So these are stimulants that give you a mild energy boost and improve mood. Yep, I need both of those at 8 p.m. in the evening.
Relate.
Yeah, hard relate. And then sugar and fat. So the combination of sugar and fat activates the brain's reward system. Well done for putting the kids to sleep and getting through another day in this life.
It's your chocolate.
Here's my chocolate. I always say to Adam, I need biscuits. If I do something well, I'm like, give me a biscuit, tell me I've done well. Like, it's like I'm doing that to myself. And then you can probably say this better than me, Beck. Phenylethylamine.
I don't know.
Let's call it PEA because that's the abbreviation for it, and we're not scientists. So this is a compound that promotes dopamine release. That's similar to the feeling of being in love. Great, another reason that I'm definitely going to keep doing it. And then anandamide, sometimes called as bliss molecule, which interacts with the brain's cannabinoid receptors, which produces this mild euphoria. Again, hard relate. So there are real chemicals at play which are making this pretty difficult to stop doing. And it basically triggers this dopamine release, which is the same like the neurotransmitter that's involved in getting addicted to drugs, social media, and other like pleasurable activities. Your brain starts associating chocolate with happiness, and that's where the like craving or addiction, if you want to call it, kicks in. So we link it to comfort. Sometimes it's connected to childhood memories or celebrations, and definitely stress release. So this, as well as the chemical attachment, you've got that really strong emotional attachment too. But you're right, like the cycle is that it causes these blood sugar spikes and then crashes. And that's why we're then like, oh, we need it again. So interestingly, when I went to go to see a nutritionist once, it was completely, I was not going because of my mint error addiction, although maybe that would be a good idea now. One of the things that she mentioned was if you're craving chocolate, it can also be a sign of magnesium deficiency. So that is something that I did actually take on board. And so basically the reason for that is that cacao, which we'll go on to talk about, is one of the richest natural sources in magnesium. And magnesium is essential for relaxing muscles and muscle cramps, regulating mood and reducing stress, supporting energy levels and balancing hormones. And they say that the amount of stress that we go through now in modern day life, like our body can't process it, and we can't actually naturally get enough magnesium on board to bring us back to where we need. So a lot of people would need to be taking magnesium supplements. Magnesium also drops before your period, so then we can see that we crave chocolate because of magnesium at certain parts in our cycle. So alternatives, so other magnesium-rich foods would include avocados. I mean, I definitely eat an avocado a day as well. Maybe this is just telling me that I've just got too much stress in my life. Leafy greens, nuts and seeds. I'm obsessed with peanut butter. Salmon and other fatty fish, yeah, bananas. And then legumes, so like black beans, chickpeas, and lentils. So I'm doing all of the above, so I feel I can have them in rarity. What do you
Yeah,
think
I
there?
think that's all right. Yeah, I feel like magnesium is such an important nutrient. And I had epigenetic testing, and I have like a very strong demand for magnesium. And the thing is, when we take it in a supplement, is like it's not bioavailable a lot of the time. So yeah, I think trying to get it through your diet, but I also use, have you seen like the magnesium spray that you can get? So I put that on like all the parts of my body that sometimes hurt before bed, and it definitely helps.
See, I've bought the magnesium cream, like the night balm to put on the soles of my feet, but it's also the child-friendly one. So I do it for the boys.
You're
This was
like,
also in
sleep.
like, yeah, in like desperation of no sleep. You know, the Instagram ad comes up and it's like, are your kids erratic and not sleeping? Try magnesium. I was like, bye. It got me hook, line,
Bye
and sinker.
now.
I know, but they're so cute now. So when we do the bar, I do bath time and then just put the normal moisturizer on, and then they like lift their feet up for their magnesium cream, so they know it's coming. Whether it's working or not, I don't think it's doing any harm. So yeah, I think magnesium does have a part to play in this for sure.
Yeah, like you said, especially for us in the West where our lifestyles are so busy, and yeah, and I think our circadian rhythm can be so off as well, right? Because the amount of time that we spend indoors, blue light, all of that stuff. So yeah, I think anything like that that you can do to help you sleep is like so worth it.
Totally agree. So, what also happens in the yoga world related to chocolate is cacao ceremonies. And I remember my former self, I used to see things like cacao ceremonies and be like, oh, no, that'd be way too woo woo for me. And now, I mean, it's a combination of yoga and chocolate. So, what is there not to love about that? So, to talk about that a little bit for anyone that is in the dark about this, is cacao is obviously the raw, unprocessed form of chocolate, and it is derived from the seeds or the beans of the Theobroma cacao tree, and that literally means food of the gods. And it was used for centuries in spiritual rituals, healing, and nourishment. So, unlike processed chocolate, the ceremonial grade cacao is made from pure whole cacao beans, usually sun dried and then stone ground, and it hasn't got any additives like sugar or dairy. But it does contain really powerful compounds like theobromine, which is that gentle stimulant that increases blood flow and energy, but without the jitters of caffeine. Anandamide, which is that bliss molecule, so enhances feelings of joy and relaxation. The PA, which is known as the love molecule, so promoting emotional connection and heart opening. And magnesium, as we said, and antioxidants, which really helps with stress release, muscle relaxation, and overall well-being. So, what is there not to love about cacao? So, do you want to talk to us a little bit about cacao ceremony specs? I think you've done these before, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I'd say about cacao is like where it comes from is, it's rooted in these very sort of, well, the Mayan and Aztec civilizations where it was like this really sacred plant. And so you might hear cacao referred to as like mama cacao. And there's this idea that every plant and every food and sort of sacred item like this has its own spirit. So whenever you're working with cacao in ceremony, it's like you call in the spirit of mama cacao. And it's often this very nurturing, loving, yeah, maternal energy that mama cacao offers. So she's often used in ceremony for like heart opening, associated with the heart chakra. And it's really a tool to serve as a way to gain more access to your inner world, right? Introspection, emotional release with the heart chakra as well, and like this deep connection with the inner self. So I think also it's like, you know, we're so used to chocolate in the West, and cacao is like this much purer, more sacred version of this. So I think it should be approached with respect. And it's said that like when you're preparing cacao, the intention that you put in and how you prepare it is really important, that you're doing it, with a pure intention in your heart. It's not something like that you just knock up and do you know what I mean? It's like really preparing it with reverence and I think to be honest that's true for like any food that you're preparing. It's been shown I don't know if you've ever read this about like chefs that are preparing food with a certain intention. It's said that like that food is more healing than, if there were no intention. And imagine like eating food. I've thought this sometimes, when you eat out and like there's nothing wrong with the food, like it's well cooked, but you feel like not right after. You feel something that sometimes may not even be your emotion. So I think, if you're working with cacao, it's like preparing it consciously, honoring its heritage and where it's come from, and setting an intention, I think is what I'd say about it.
It's so true. I remember when we took the community to India for a retreat in India. There was like 21 people that we took to India, which is wild. But it was amazing. And the people who were preparing the food there, and actually she came and she prepared some of the food with us. And she would always talk about the energy of the food and like preparing Reiki on the food to make sure that it was like filled with love, so that that's what we were filling people with, and making sure that your frequency and your energy was clean, positive, full when you're doing that cooking, so that that transference of energy doesn't come through with lack or stress or whatever it might be. So yeah, we know that with frequency, how you synchronize, and we are literally preparing the food with our hands that is going into other people's mouths. So I think that's a really real thing. And something to be aware of. Okay, so how have we moved then, Beck, from that ritual and from that sacredness of cacao to the chocolate that we talk about today?
Well, so cacao on its own is like quite a bitter drink if you've ever tasted it. And yeah, the Aztecs and the Mayans would sometimes mix cacao with like chili spices, maybe honey. Like honey is another food that is like such high frequency and another food of the gods. And so we came across cacao in Europe during the colonial period. And we started to add sugar and milk to it, which transformed it into like the chocolate that we know and love today. So it became a change from like this ritualistic bitter drink to more of a sweet indulgent treat. So the mass production of chocolate began in the 19th century with some names that you might recognize. Joseph Fry, if you ever saw like Fry's Turkish Delight, I used to love that actually as a child, and then Hershey as well. And they were kind of the two people that marked the rise of modern chocolate in the world that we live in now. So yeah, it's really been like transformed through the addition of sugar and milk. Um, and one of the things that worries me is, yes, those ingredients are added, but we're also starting to see things like seed oils added to chocolate. And we know seed oils are like so unhealthy. And also, even some of the more luxury brands of chocolate have been shown to like contain some harmful ingredients as well. So I think, as with everything, like check the ingredients on what you're buying. And for me, like I always just try and buy stuff that's got the least amount of ingredients in. And if I don't recognize that, like if it's a chemical, don't eat it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I went through a stage, I don't know if anyone else did this during COVID, where we had all that lovely time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make my own chocolate. And actually, it was one of those things that was so simple. And it was just pure coconut oil in the pan with really high grade cacao, really high quality honey. And then I used to put some nuts in it and stir it all around, pop it in a little tray and put it in the fridge. And then, like half an hour later, I would have this delicious like snack which really stopped the craving, but it was really delicious anyway because I love honey. So there are ways around it, is it? But it's all this like ideals. It's hard to do it all the time. And I think if I handed that chocolate to Lenny, I don't know, maybe he would like it. But with kids, it's not quite so easy, is it? Or is that just an excuse? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And, our taste buds are like trained, aren't they, to sort of crave, like you said, with this dopamine response. And also, our children, when they're in the womb, our babies in the womb, it's been shown like the diet that we eat when we're pregnant is so important, isn't it? And I only found that out recently. And I was reflecting on this, like with Hannah, I ate really healthily. And then with Zoe, we were going through, we're having an extension on the house and I didn't have a kitchen and I just didn't eat as well. And I feel like she is much more drawn to like the unhealthy foods. So, yeah, not that, that's about blame or judgment or anything like that, but it's just having that awareness.
It's really funny you say that because only the other day I was getting like just the food that I eat out of the fridge. And I love like salamis and things. I always put it in my omelets and cheese and even smoked salmon and avocado and stuff like that. And Lenny was just like trying to grab it all out of my hand. And I was like, isn't this funny what he grabs like as a 4 year old? And I was thinking that because I remember actually watching this documentary during COVID and because I was pregnant with Lenny and it said it was about babies and how all the stages of baby. So I was obviously transfixed by it because I had one coming along that I was not ready for. And there was this study about how iron, if you eat lots of like spinach or high iron foods, the babies, the experiment, they show you the experiment on this episode on Netflix, is that the children are more intelligent and how they rate intelligence is if the mother is in the room and calls the baby's name, does it like answer to it? And those that had a really high iron diet were basically had higher intelligence in the way that they naturally would hear their mother. And I went nuts on iron. I ate so much spinach and like as high iron as I could because I was like trying to get this baby so smart and healthy and all the rest of it. And I swear, like Lenny's so switched on, and poor Theo, like I didn't do any of that because second one round, you're just like, they'll be all right, they're fine. And they're really different. They're really different in what like foods they like. And I know that can just be individuals, but yeah, Theo's definitely like got a real sweet tooth, and Lenny's like really different in that way. But yeah, I think it all makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I think, with all of that, like maybe that's why your second child is your second child. Like maybe they just needed something different and they didn't need that approach. So I think it's always just approaching these things with like curiosity and an open mind, right? Not trying to beat yourself up for things that you did or didn't do.
No, and thankfully, because of astrology now, I always have this like get out of jail free that I'm like, just trust it was all meant to be.
Trust.
So with that in mind, how does chocolate feature in our charts, Beck?
Okay, so I feel like chocolate would live in the sign of Taurus. So if you've got Taurus placements, your moon is Taurus, isn't
My
it?
moon is Taurus, but also Theo is Taurus, and he's all about that like comfort, like yeah.
Yeah, it's like that comfort and the five senses, like enjoyment through the five senses. So yeah, if you've got Taurus placements, um, that's going to be important for you to like find a way to nourish that. So like you could like really fall into a trap of like needing chocolate. So if it becomes unhealthy, like how else can you nourish those Taurus placements? You know, because Taurus loves touch as well. So sometimes we can eat chocolate. Like you always say that thing that Deepak Chopra says, like, what are you really hungry for? So is it touch? Is it, I don't know. Yeah, is it something else that you actually need? So yeah, Taurus, I would say. And I'd also say Cancer because like Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it could really resonate with, I don't know, like that nurturing and emotional quality that like chocolate can bring. And perhaps Libra as well. Libra is also ruled by Venus, like Taurus is. Uh, but I don't know. I feel like Libra is also because it's about balance. It could also be like they might like really crave like the crisps or the bitter things as well. So you've got like that contradictory energy, and my moon is Libra, so I feel like that's probably true. Wherever your Venus is, Venus rules like those pleasures and all of the food of the gods as well. So, especially if it's in an earth sign, if Venus is in an earth sign, yeah, you might be like really like food and having like that experience through food might be like super important to you.
Okay, wonderful. So, what will you be having for your Easter egg, Beck? What's your Easter egg this year?
What will I choose? I mean, I do like just like the really plain and simple like dark chocolate, to be honest, something like that. What about
Yeah.
you? What's your
I
top
hadn't really
pick?
pre-thought that. Do you know, I love the Reese's ones because it's peanut butter and chocolate, which is amazing. But also, a Limp Bunny's pretty special, isn't it? There is
Yeah.
something about chomping into those ears, which is great.
Yeah, and all the other ones that you can get are just like not as nice.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about the quality, really, not the quantity.
Agree, agree. Well, wishing everyone a very happy Easter and happy chocolate eating, whatever you're up to.
Yeah, enjoy your chocolate. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Your time is precious, and we truly appreciate you spending it with us. We look forward to having you join us again soon. So, take care, and we'll catch you in the next episode.